Hello. It's another episode, and we're here with more news. But yeah, we'll see how much news there is. Yes, I'm not gonna call us experts because that we are not. Yes, we might be experts on certain topics, but we are not experts in other topics. Good point. Really good point there. Not really. I haven't kept up since like the whole mimic thing. Although, fun story about that. At one point, I was with a group of friends, and one of them, you know, I don't know how, but ended up on the topic that I like FNAF, and another one in the friend group immediately tested me in that with a question like, "What's the difference between the byte of 87 and a byte of 83?" For those who don't know, the byte, well, for those who have little knowledge, the byte of 87 is those immediately think of like Markiplier. Eh, you're only missing a franchise who's eventually going to open a real location next year. But like, there's just some details. If you know the lore, you know that that is very misleading because Markiplier at some point said in a very iconic thing, was that the bite of 87? When it was in reality, after, research, the bite of 83. We thought we had the lore correct after like a while, and then they throw in more information. I guess. It's yeah. No, he eventually like I think at the time it said some things are best to leave unknown or something, basically saying forget about the box. Like this is a mystery that nobody will ever know what's in the box, and then people start to theorize. I mean, can I give spoilers about the movie? The box, I think it did the second movie. I mean, it's bad for basically nobody watches this, so yeah. Basically, the box does show up there. So, or at least something that resembles the box, looks wise. So, yeah. I was like, Well, once I saw that, I was like, ooh. Because if you're going to to a FNAF movie, First of all, you'll know where it is because of the amount of autism that's around the door. You will recognize a lot of people will be wearing like a little hat or stuff like that. And apart from that, it's basically just... yeah. As I said, it's a lot of people that are just... I think... this might sound bad, but when somebody got killed in a movie, people cheered in the first one. Also, the music might be a little loud. At least I can hear it quite clearly. Or I just have to sound quite loud. Aw, has your audio not been turned on?
Okay, so now we have a now we have a question here. Do we start again? If we go for 6 minutes.
Now leave them with 6 minutes of unknown audio, like just half a
6 minutes of you having schizophrenia talking about FNAF.
Yeah, seems accurate enough.
Alright, with that, we're moving on to the next topic.
Considering the topic at hand, it does fit.
We're moving on to the next topic, which is,
the weather.
Sure.
Because liquid has finally been falling from the sky.
Yep.
After weeks of drought, we finally had rain.
Yes.
And, oh, it's nice.
Yes. Okay, that was the weather.
Yeah, it's gonna rain for the next couple of weeks.
Uh-huh.
Quick update.
I didn't know that. But, I don't know, I'm like... trying to think.
Did you do anything this weekend?
Well...
Or last weekend?
I suppose I beat Void Stranger, kind of, maybe, I think. They threw in another thing at the end that I still need to investigate, but I presume it was the ending. Today I was thinking about it and I realized something. But I can't quite figure it out. So yesterday, I guess minor spoiler for Void Stranger for the people that haven't played it, but there's a boss which if you've only played like the first little bit of the game, you're just gonna be gasping, wait, there's boss fights? Yes, there's boss fights.
In a puzzle game.
Yeah, they're really cool. There was a boss, and every time you hit her, she turns into a bunch of flies. And I commented during that fight. There was a book earlier referring to Beelzebub. Today I was thinking, wait a minute. Her name was Bee, so why didn't she turn into bees? And then I realized, Beelzebub.
Bee.
And then I thought, wait a minute. There's Lord Lev, could be Leviathan. There's Lord Sif, could be Lucifer. But I can't make the other names fit. So there's Mon, Odd, Dis, and another one that I'm forgetting. But I can't remember. The closest I can is like Solomon or Mon, but Solomon wasn't a demon, that was a king. So like, I don't know.
So you're just gonna be doing some research after this.
Maybe. I need Yoran. We need Yoran in here. Because I can't think
But
of
isn't he on?
any other demon names. Hold on. Let me see if I can... Oh, I still have that
Isn't he
page
on
open.
vacation right now?
You realize school has started, right?
Yeah, no, because we're not in school anymore, Jim.
Oh yeah.
We're
Well,
employed.
I have brothers. But no,
Yeah, those don't count.
he's constantly online playing Scrap Mechanic. Anyway, Use, EUS, and Tan, and Gore. I can't think of what those would be. Because I'm just thinking of, like, famous demons, right? Like, Behemoth, and, like, that sort of stuff. But, well, obviously that's not it. I guess
Somebody
this...
on the internet has probably already figured it out.
Probably, but I want to figure it out. The thing is, this may not be a demon, because this is not one of the Void Lords, right? So maybe she doesn't have to follow that trend. Don't know what this would be at that point. But I don't know. I just thought of that on the way back home today.
So while you were just cycling, you were like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah. I was like, B. That's what
I
happens
mean,
when
it's
I
usually
that's what
how.
happens when I cycle, okay? I just start thinking about random things.
I mean, that's usually how I come up with how I, when I was still following FNAF lore, came up with that. Just random ass moments where it's like,
Yeah.
hold on a second.
You know
We're
something
having a moment.
else that
What?
I recently thought of? Well, I guess I was like watching a video talking about Devil May Cry. Specifically talking about angels in Devil May Cry and the absence of them.
Yeah.
And because of the themes of that video that they were kind of talking about, I had the the thought, if a demon is a fallen angel, is a risen demon an angel?
Well, then you would get sort of in a loop, wouldn't you? Like, a demon is a fallen angel, and an angel is a risen demon. So you'd go in the circle of falling, turning into being a fallen angel, but then you're a demon, and then the demon just rises up, and then it's an angel, and then you know
Yeah.
who started that cycle? Because you're you're in an endless loop at that point.
I mean, yeah.
Like an actual endless loop.
Yeah. That was just a random thought I had. I think it could hold merit. I mean, obviously in the Bible demons can't turn good, but because like it was kind of about like how, you know, the word demon comes from the Greek daimon, which is a creature in mythology that is not necessarily good or evil, but eventually it was just a name that went to like any kind of spirit. And of course, any kind of spirit that is not God is a demon in Christianity. So,
That does explain a bit about that religion.
so, so there's that. And
Anything that
then,
isn't familiar is evil.
and then the word angel is pretty common knowledge that it means messenger, but it's also a Greek word, right? Like angel is messenger. But that doesn't necessarily have to mean good or evil. It's just a job. In fact, the Bible even says that Satan will disguise himself as an angel of light. So, you know, it was kind of about that and like how, from that perspective, right, you kind of have this this thing where they can both represent good and evil?
I mean, a messenger inherently is just neutral.
Yeah. Well, no, that it
The
depends. Depends on the message.
well, the thing is that doesn't make the messenger
Yeah, I guess so.
evil necessarily.
Yes.
I mean, the whole saying, "Don't shoot the messenger,"
I mean,
like
you know,
just relaying a message.
uh,
If the message is bad news, then you have to go to the person that sent the message.
I mean, may God curse the writer, for the writer has cursed the world, right? That's a quote from the
I
king.
feel
That's a
like
quote from the king in yellow. I'm pretty
I
sure.
feel like punishing a messenger would be sending a message of "Don't give me anything." All you do is just install fear, and that's how Stalin died.
Oh. Oh no. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, we can't have that.
Considering he basically made it, he had a medical emergency, and everybody was too scared to treat
Oh!
him because
Yeah, I did hear
of
about
fear of
that. I
punishment.
did hear about that. Yeah.
So if you shoot the message, if you target the messenger for a for like bad news, then what you're basically indicating is I don't want any messages or only good news, which means you probably get false information. And that's bad.
Yes, I would indeed say so.
So that's why if a messenger comes with bad news, you should most likely hear them out and respond appropriately. And responding appropriately means not harming them. Because you can already imagine people being like, yeah, we're going to respond appropriately by ending them.
Yeah, well. But,
That doesn't work.
yeah. Anyway, oh, actually, what I should do. Um,
You know, so I for once had a weekend where I did basically nothing. After having a party or watching an eclipse and going to a party, which I usually don't do because that requires friends. I'm talking like an actual decently sized party, not just the three of us together.
yeah, well,
This was more of a group setting, so that takes more social energy. I realized just how small my social battery actually is. Because I was tired that Friday evening after streaming for half an hour because my Wi Fi was shit. So Saturday tried to sleep in, woke up around 10, stayed in bed till like 12. Did the same thing on Sunday, and I also made spotted dick. It's good.
it is
And also finally
indeed.
managed to get the sauce right.
Oh, wait, I should just,
Turns out what we did wrong, Jim, when we made the spotted dick was going too fast.
Oh, do we?
Yes. Because, and does it maybe depend on the sugar that is used, but my sauce is just still combined after cooling down.
Oh,
That's a big upset of induction cooking. You can basically say, I want to go really slow and put it on like 1. I give 1 through 9. So all you do is basically say I need this shit to go slow. You put it to 1 or 2. You keep stirring. I also didn't use enough flour, so it stuck to the cloth. And it basically ripped 3/4 of the edge off of it. It's still delicious. The flavor with the actual ingredients isn't really that different. I know that we used like actual frying stuff instead of the ingredients you actually need. So
Yeah, but I don't think it would make that big a difference.
I would recommend making it, but it does require large amounts of prep time combined with, you know, a lot of time cooking because you have to get all the ingredients. The making of the dough, or the dick as it was called back then, is quite simple.
I mean,
It's
as
just
it
a
is
matter of
now.
throw a bunch of ingredients together. But then you come to the real issue. The issue of the 1.5 to 2 hours of basically cooking time. Where the cooking time is there because of boiling. You're doing it at 100 degrees
Yeah.
instead of doing it at higher temperatures like you usually cook stuff or bake stuff with an oven at 200 degrees. Of course, I'm doing everything in Celsius because screw Fahrenheit.
True.
I'm not dealing with US measurements. Oh, Jim, I've just been made aware of some news that could be interesting
Oh no.
to talk about. You know how a far right party here in the Netherlands tried to open a school?
You mean, wait. You mean the one that did that like years
Forum for
ago?
Democracy.
Yeah.
They've actually opened it.
Oh really?
4 children showed up. A total of 4.
I mean, I'm just surprised they found enough teachers, to be honest.
They got 18 in total. Like 18 children were applied to the school. Of course, we're talking about very young children, so the parents did it, which is a great way to see which parents are good for a child and which aren't.
Now, Zhu, that is not a very nice thing to say.
That is my opinion. However, you can
How
also talk
dare
to
you
the
have an
children
opinion?
and see how much of them still are in contact with their parents. That's actually a great way to gauge how good a parent is. Because, if the child isn't in contact with the parent anymore, then that shows how good the parent was. Because you occasionally on social media see things like a parent saying that their child has like strict, that they still strict rules even though a child is like 15. And a lot of people are already saying I know it's probably rage bait, but a lot of people are already saying it. Your child isn't gonna talk to you once they're an adult and moved out. Yeah, of course. You should have rules for your children, otherwise they will become pieces of shit to drive fat bikes. We don't want that. So, you know,
Yeah.
apart from that, having some rules is nice. You know, to keep them in line, have them, you know, learn proper values, like treat everyone nicely, which is apparently very difficult already. And keep the rules
Oh,
sort of like change them a bit as they grow older.
how very Christian of you.
Well, someone that's 15 shouldn't have the same bedtime as someone
Oh no, I meant the
that's
the the
8.
the treat everyone equally.
That is just basic human decency.
Oh, I thought the Ten Commandments invented that. All right, not the Ten Commandments. Wait, it was Jesus that said that, not the commandments.
Well, Jesus was right in that sense. You know,
Right,
if you see a person, you shouldn't just
to
automatically
be
hate
fair,
them.
Jesus was right about a lot of things. Even from a non-religious perspective, like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the fellow's like, you know, just treat others how you want to be treated, and overall, just mind others, don't steal, stuff like that. That is basic stuff. But apparently, if a parent isn't doing well, then why do you have a child in the first place? It's sort of critical to think, like, am I prepared to be a parent? You know, as a father, like, are you able to support the child without traumatizing it for life? And do I have enough dad jokes? This is also very important as a father, to
Uh-huh.
have a near infinite amount of bad jokes.
Uh-huh.
And overall, just being able to, I said, not traumatize your child. You know, otherwise you get an adult that still jumps when they don't expect a door to open, because that's really annoying when a door opens while you weren't expecting it, which would be weird because a door usually opens. It doesn't really do anything else.
I mean,
Because, you know, otherwise you just become hyper
yeah,
vigilant
they
and,
do.
you know, trying to
They
keep
they
yourself unnoticed.
they close.
That as well.
And they keep that one zombie safe in Plants vs. Zombies.
Or they prevent zombies from walking into your base.
Do they?
Unless you're in hard mode, then they might break down the door.
I thought that was a feature on all difficulties. I'm gonna be real.
I think it's just in hard mode where they can actually break down the door.
Oh.
Although 9 times out of 10, Minecraft, like if you're on a server playing it on hard, it's just the best solution because of two things: just villager conversions, like the zombifying and curing of villagers, is I think a 25% chance on that are turned into a zombie villager on easy, 50% on normal, and 100% in hardcore in hard, meaning converting villagers to a zombie villager, then curing them again to get better deals because business is better in hard mode, and overall, just like once you're out of the early game in Minecraft, it's really not that bad. You know, it's not that difficult to survive a skeleton when you have diamond armor.
Yeah.
Sure, if you're just starting out, it might be a little bit difficult, but that's normal. That's just how it's supposed to be. You know, it's hard mode for a reason. It's supposed to be a bit hard. But anyway, shall I take a look at the news to see what's up? Um, oh, apparently the UK has had one casualty and over 200 sick from salmonella. You know, that's why you don't eat raw egg or raw chicken. You should always just boil or scramble or just eat your eggs up and just cook your chicken properly with seasoning. Because nothing's more boring than just chicken. Like it's just unseasoned chicken and you try to eat that's just bland. Gordon Ramsay would break down your door and scream at you for not seasoning the chicken. But of course, different cultures have different seasoning. And I know that it is generally seen on the internet, generally seen that white people don't know anything about seasoning, and I'm partially inclined to agree. The Dutch kitchen does not have a lot of spices
No, but we have
involved.
cheese. That's good enough.
That is true, however, we had a lot of spices. We had the spice trade, yet we didn't use any of them. Like, what a waste. You have them, and yet it's like a little bit of pepper. Like, oh, that's spicy.
Yeah, well.
Use some chili flakes and then we'll talk.
I feel like we're getting way too passionate about this subject here, Joe.
It's about food and I'm most passionate about food.
Fair.
Because nothing's worse than bad food. And it's just super easy to make things taste better. Just add a little bit, like you don't even have to add a lot of spices, just a bit. And slightly more than a bit. Then your food will taste better. You can, of course, experiment, mix and match with different spices, figure out what you like, and then go and enjoy. For example, if I like bake an egg, then I involve cheese, some ham, and just spices as well. It'll make it'll taste a lot nicer than just egg. And apparently, if you're British, you don't boil it properly and get salmonella.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe don't do that.
Yeah. What else do we have? We had a bunch of farmers driving tractors on a highway.
Yes, I am aware of that.
And there were, I think, actual casualties with traffic accidents.
Oh.
Yeah. Although I feel like that's not the cause of the tractors, but more of the people that are driving behind it, not realizing the traffic is slowing down, and just plow into the car in front of them.
Yeah.
Although tractors are slow. I think they were driving on the shoulder, like on the shoulder, so they weren't like in a lane, or maybe in the right lane. Like highways have multiple lanes for a reason. It's called overtaking. But before I rant on about traffic, wait,
What?
holy shit! Apparently, here in the Netherlands, a little turtle has been born, and when I say little, I mean smaller than a paperclip.
That's a tiny turtle.
Yes. And apparently it's really rare because it's almost extinct.
Uh-huh.
So not only is it good, it's in the Netherlands, it's really tiny.
But, okay, but then the question becomes, because it's that small, if you eat it whole, what's it taste like?
I don't know, but it's so bloody small. It's just, once you see the image of it, it is just ridiculous. It's very cute as well.
Is it a turtle or a tortoise?
It's land based.
So it's a tortoise, not a turtle. Why is this
I think the Dutch use the same word for both.
Huh. Apparently the mirror function does not mirror banners properly.
It didn't mirror your mirror.
It did not mirror the mirror. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, just
what else do we have? Apparently, a bunch of newspapers are going to get a fine for advertising weight loss medicine.
oh.
You know, like Ozempic and stuff like that, which here in the Netherlands is classified as diabetes medicine. So not to lose weight.
Oh.
Which means it's prescription. And once it's prescription, then you're not allowed to advertise it on your newspaper. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, one would think that, yeah.
Advertise like the heavy stuff in a newspaper. There's a lot of like heavy medicine that's used, like for example, stuff to like sedatives to get you under for surgery. You don't just want to give that out.
No?
Because people would overdose very easily, and not only is overdosing,
I mean,
with anything dangerous, but with those kinds of drugs, you are just not waking up.
I mean, it sounds
Ever again.
Sounds pretty good to me.
I mean, if you're tired, like first of all, usually when you have surgery, there's a reason they tell you to not eat or preferably not drink, but they do allow you to drink a little bit of water. But they don't get to eat anything.
For legal reasons, I do not condone recreational narcotics.
Me neither. I have had surgeries, and there's a reason they tell you to not eat any food, and that is because if you're under and you have had food, it might come up again. But because you had some narcotics and you're not responding, it might go down the wrong hole into your lungs. And because you're under, you don't have a gag reflex, so you're not. Usually, if that happens, you start gagging. You start almost throw up, or maybe you do throw up, to get it out of your airways so you can breathe. But you can't if you're having surgery. That's why they also they occasionally shove a tube down your throat to help breathing. But if food goes in there, you can easily suffocate yourself.
That's not good.
So if you start giving it away, just for free, or not for free, but like if you advertise in a newspaper and just hand it to anybody, you're gonna get that a lot. And I don't think hospitals or like ambulance personnel should deal with that. Ooh, also, on the topic of
The hell?
life-ending things, in Brazil, you're not able to use the live stream function on Discord.
Why not?
Because a 13-year-old girl prematurely ended her life
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that, actually. My parents talked about it.
while live streaming it on Discord, and they have 5 teens have already been arrested for it.
What's going on? I can't place armor stands.
Because like that's just life happening and nobody's intervening.
I don't know. Why, like, why do... I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, whoops. Apparently a car drove through a wall, leaving the front hanging out of a parking garage. You know, because apparently it's... it happened because the driver became unwell.
Whoa! Apparently you can place them wherever. Why can't I place an armor stand? I don't understand. What?
I don't know. I'm looking for news. Ooh, some car news. The first electric Ferrari,
Okay, is that? I see.
the Luce, which has been heavily criticized on the internet for looking like an Apple mouse. You know, the magic mouse with the charging port on the bottom.
I know, I don't know.
It has sold for 35 million euros.
Damn. That's pretty good.
Well, you can buy it new. Like this was chassis 0, so like the first one. But you can buy it new for 550,000 euros. That's a lot cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah, and even the article that I'm reading says that they were heavily criticized because it's just it's a 5-seater. I mean, it's electric, and for a company like Ferrari, electric is already a bit of a thing. And then a 5-seater and just looking like how it looks, it's just not like a sport. It doesn't really look like a sports car. It doesn't look like a Ferrari. It looks more like something that could come out of China.
Yeah. I mean,
But I guess that's car design these days.
sports cars just start looking more and more like fucking spaceships, dude.
Apart from the fact that sports cars are inherently impractical. Or, you know, most of the time you have 2 seats, maybe like a very small rear seat, which can only house like babies. because anything with actual legs won't have the room. And yes, you can go fast, but you can also risk fines really quickly. They might look good. Once again, they're impractical. You cannot haul your groceries in them unless you're alone and can shove everything on the passenger seat. Speed bumps are probably a nightmare to go over.
Yeah.
So overall,
But I
if
don't
you
think
have
the
the money,
people
you
that
have
buy those cars actually care.
no, they have a lot of money anyway, so they're not likely to be bothered by all that. It's really, I mean, it's kind of funny having lived in two places and both with quite different financials. Come from an area that had a lot of richer people around it. You see more modern cars, some sports cars around. Then move into an area where money is less of a thing. You see a lot more older cars, a lot more hatchbacks. You know, more of the stuff that you would just see every day on the street. And honestly, owning a small hatchback is a lot cheaper than a sports car. Not only is maintenance going to be expensive with a sports car because branding, because oh, there's a brand on it, time to jack up the price 20 times. Especially with cars, some of them have the same part from a cheaper car. And instead of buying the expensive part for like 300, you might be able to buy the cheap part for 60. Just saying,
Yeah.
if you're looking for a car part for an expensive car, maybe first check if it's the same part number or the same model as a cheap car, especially these days, where car brands are basically under big groups. If you look under the hood of an Audi, you might see a Volkswagen logo. Those Volkswagen parts will be cheaper. Yeah, what else do we have? Apparently police took a skinny bike, we know as fat bikes, but a skinny bike is just the same but with skinnier tires to,
Wait, that exists?
yes. But a skinny bike is just the same as a fat bike, but thinner tires and an adjustable saddle.
Okay.
So
Sure,
it's just
why
a heavily
not?
modified e-bike.
Why not?
But you wanna know how fast this bike was going?
80.
120.
Oh my god. I mean,
Well, uh, well, it didn't go 120, but it had the capabilities of doing so.
dude, I had an internship where one of my colleagues there, he would bike to
It's
work
a lot.
every day, right?
Yeah.
And he had an e-bike. But he had he had like a fancier e-bike that has like two batteries that both they can charge simultaneously, which is not very common on e-bikes. But two, he was just like quite a bit into like biking and just sports in general. An e-bike, obviously, it supports you for like 25 kilometers an hour, right?
Yes. After that, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah, he just consistently bikes 50k an hour.
Oh, but Jimmy, you know how this article gets worse.
Without he
Apparently,
did
the
not like
bike.
he did not change that bike, right? Like that was he just biked that fast.
Yeah, but this article about the 120 km/h bike gets worse.
Oh
It
no.
didn't have a chain, which means you couldn't pedal, which means it's technically not even a
It's
bike.
a fucking motorcycle.
Yes,
Or maybe a scooter. I don't know.
like I'm not sure how old the what like they don't tell you the age, but they tell you it was someone young. So probably around, I guess between like, it can range between like 15 and probably like 18, maybe 20.
Yeah.
Because no one in their right mind would go out with something like that.
Well.
One wrong move, and you're no longer here.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna make a wild assumption here that they aren't wearing any protective equipment, such as a helmet or any sort of, you know, protective, like a shirt, or you know, bikers always wear, like occasionally wear those like a jacket that's just pretty tight in pants, just to make sure that if they fall, they're protected.
Yeah.
You don't see that too often on the road. A lot of them are just, especially when the weather is hot, they're just out in a t-shirt and shorts,
Yeah.
and they're riding on the highway.
I'm pretty sure in the Netherlands, if you're on a bicycle, the only thing you are required to wear is a helmet. I don't think you need to wear like any
No,
other
I'm talking about
protective gear.
motorcycle here
Yeah.
on a highway,
Yeah.
wearing a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah. The only thing that you legally need to wear is a helmet.
Well, on fat bikes in the future as well. I think 2027.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Well, yeah, they're they're saying that you have to wear a helmet and a minimum age of 14 years old. Ooh. And helmet will be mandatory. Like, the government is trying to do this in 2027 to basically make a helmet mandatory for anybody that rides a bike, like a fat bike or an e-bike, that's under 18.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really good because e-bikes can be fast.
Yes. No shit.
Like, as we just stated, you can be supported till 25 km/h. And 25 km/h is a good enough speed to break bones. I should know. I speak from experience. You know, if you like, I did 25 km/h on a normal bike. Because, you know, why do you need a fat bike or an e-bike when you can just use your legs? But I was doing 25 km/h. Rear wheel hit a bollard. I went flying, landed on my left wrist, broke my left wrist, was in a cast for 8 weeks. But apart from that, you know, biking is, especially in the Netherlands, is quite safe. Like, you don't really have to fear. Well, apart from the fact you have to fear for fat bikes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or drivers that aren't paying attention, which only matters if the infrastructure is combined.
Yeah.
because we occasionally separate the types of traffic. You know, like bikers get their own lane, cars have their own lane, pedestrians have the sidewalk, of course. All of that combines into a safe flow of traffic. And in cities, you just have to get lucky.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to make sure that you're looking around properly, and you'll be fine. Biking in Amsterdam as your first time is not recommended. You will probably be surprised by how everyone rides a bike there.
Yeah.
Basically, no fucks are given. If that's what you want, then go for it. But let's see what else we have. Yeah. Death, more death. Fires. Also, have we talked about the eclipse yet? I think that was last Wednesday, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was.
So, I did watch it. With proper eye protection, of course. I'm not that stupid. Although for next time, I might just wear like a welding mask, because that's pretty much the same thing. Although I'll probably put eclipse goggles over it. And my dumbass didn't bring sunscreen to the beach where I was gonna watch it. So yes, a ginger didn't bring sunscreen to the beach.
Woohoo.
That's a very good joke.
Okay.
Because of course, it's you know, the sun is a deadly laser.
Yeah.
And I burn quickly. So I have a lot of fun around that. What else we have? Low water. Yeah, that was because of drought. Not really. More war. Oh yeah, apparently Trump wants to turn the Strait of Hormuz into American soil, like they want to just make it American.
Of course he
They want to
does.
occupy it. Ah, you know how a while ago we had I think United Healthcare CEO that was shot like a long time ago?
Yeah.
Well, Luigi Mangione, the person that has been found, well, he was a suspect and he admitted to doing it,
Oh.
to shooting Ryan Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah. His motive was that he has been battling with, or has been suffering from a broken, like, the aftermath of a broken back for years. You know, years of pain.
Uh-huh.
And health insurance was always a pain in the ass. So,
Yeah, that's their job.
what, to make it as painful as possible? You know, you're suffering from pain already. Health insurance be like, double it
It's
and make it last
an
longer.
insurance company.
Yeah, usually they're there to pick up some of the cost.
Well, they don't care.
Like, you know,
Insurance companies, at least here in the Netherlands, are very funny. If you need, like, if you just had, like, a big thing and you need, like, a lot of money to fix it, that they are supposed to give to you, then they're gonna, like, try really hard to not have to do it, or, like, as little as possible. But then, if you need something and you need like a very small amount for it, they won't even come and check. And by small amount, I mean like a couple $1,000. At some point here in the house, right, my parents wanted to redo the floor in the living room because it was just getting old.
yeah.
And during like St. Nicholas, we had our little gift thingies, right, where you craft like a whole thing. And one of them had an exposed nail. So my cousin pulled his present thingy towards himself. His nail scraped over the floor. And then my parents were like, okay, well, great, we can redo the floor. So they go to the insurance, right? Like, hey, because now I was like, oh, you know, now we have damage, so now they'll actually pay. So they call them up, and no one came to check for the damage. We didn't need to send any proof. They just sent over like a couple $1,000 to fucking fix the floor.
Yeah.
Why? Like, thank you, but why?
No idea.
Because, like, you know, at my job, our, like, workspace burned down. And I'm pretty sure my boss is still kind of fighting with the fucking insurance to get the money.
Yeah, because that's that's like quite a larger sum of money.
Yeah.
For rebuilding an entire building. In the meantime, just doing one floor on one floor is just thinly in one room. You don't really need all that much money. Like, you don't need a lot. You can do it pretty cheap. Especially if you end up doing it yourself.
Also,
like if you just get the boys together to redo the floor in one.
Kind of related to my job, but I found something kind of funny. You know, I have like a project in Romania, which is done now. Actually, like the whole thing, pretty sure is built. Like the official date I think was yesterday, but one of the people in Romania that we work with is named Radu. And so at some point I like needed him, or at least I was wondering if I had to ask him something, right? And they just go, which Radu? Because apparently There are multiple. Apparently,
Is it a
apparently,
really common name there?
apparently so. 2 days ago, I was looking a little bit into the history of Vlad the Third, also known as Vlad the Impaler, also known as Dracula. Guess what? He had a younger brother named Radu the Handsome.
It's basically one of those really, really common names.
Yeah, because apparently even back then it was already a pretty common name. Actually, I was like, oh, is that just where that name comes from? But no, it was already just pretty common then. I mean, it was like common among royalty. So that's apparently why. I didn't even know Dracula had a
That's
brother.
what happens when you do research.
Like, apparently Dracula had a brother. Did that brother mean anything to the greater history of Dracula? No, not really, to be honest. He ruled for like, I think not even a year when Dracula was kicked out by the Ottomans. Was it the Ottomans? Yeah, the Ottomans. They like kicked out Dracula, put Radu on the throne, and then I'm pretty sure not even a year later Dracula just came back. Anyway.
I'm just looking through the news, but it seems like
Yeah, should we
really
should we end it?
I guess like we could say that we're not experts.
But we were here.